everyone. I want to do a video on the reasons why the Las Vegas area has so many traffic accidents and congestion or whatever. This is a four-way busy intersection. Only two sides are stop signs. You have left turn lanes, and there's 6 lanes total. And basically what you have here is a pretty dangerous situation. All right, here's another intersection. This is Durango and Bedora, and you can see here a really busy intersection. 2 stop signs on both sides of Bedora, no traffic lights in this intersection, and people just wait forever just to cross and make a right turn or even a right-left turn. It's just unbelievable. And with all of this, it's just not really safe. Sometimes I think it's better to just make a right turn and then make a U-turn rather than just making a left turn when you're coming from Bedora. It's just unbelievable. This is just poor transportation planning. And it's no wonder why car insurance rates is high. This is one of the factors, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the reasons why we need alternative ways of transportation. Just look at this. Look how unsafe this really is. You have to wait a long time just to make a left or right turn. And you have people from literally from all sides trying to make turns, left, right, straight, you name it. What do you guys think? Should we hold Clark County accountable? Hey, look at this. Downtown is coming back to life. Lights are coming. Look, it feels so amazing with businesses coming back, although it is not as crowded as it usually is. So good to see things are coming back alive, although not as packed as the Strip, I believe.
Hey, hope everybody is doing well. So I wanted to give you a market update. And basically what has happened is that the markets took a huge jump. As you know, this is largely due to the fact that the job market, in terms of adding 2.5 million jobs in the month of May, brought a lot of confidence to investors. However, keep in mind the number of unemployment claims are still rising. So this shows further proof that the stock market is really detached from the real economy and the real average person. So let's take a look right here. The Dow Jones, after suffering heavily about 2 months ago, saw the largest percentage gains, and then the Nasdaq didn't do so much, although they didn't suffer from late February and March. You can see here the Russell 2000 went up close to 4%. Crude oil still took a huge jump, close to $40 a barrel. Gold hasn't done very well. I know it's disappointing, a lot of these gold bugs. You could see here the 10-year bond has certainly retreated over the last 2 months. The dollar hasn't done remarkably well. And there you have Bitcoin at 9,600. So what we see right here is that the Dow Jones is getting closer and closer to becoming neutral and possibly positive for the year of 2020, despite all the chaos, the economy, the rioting, the looting, and everything else. So let's take a look at, first of all, the NASDAQ composite. You could see right here, the NASDAQ, relatively speaking, is higher about 15% in the last 6 months. The NASDAQ, that's 15%. The Dow Jones is about a negative 5%. So this is a huge detach, and you have to ask yourself why. Well, as you know, the NASDAQ, particularly the NASDAQ 100, consists of companies, primarily the techies, that didn't do so bad in the coronavirus shutdown. If you take a look at the Zoom stock and a lot of other companies, you know what I'm talking about. Year to date, the NASDAQ is up close to 10%. The Dow Jones is negative. If you look at the 3-month chart, the Dow Jones barely fell, but the NASDAQ went up close to 10% as well. Let's take a look at the month chart. they went up about the same. So you can see here the Dow Jones is about to catch up. And you could see here the volume is relatively high. It has been for the last 4 months. Now, keep this in mind, though. I know a lot of you guys are really, really surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the economy continues to make new highs in terms of the stock market. And I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a correction. If we do, I see this as a buying opportunity. We could see a correction of 5% or so. I'm going to be buying more and more shares. There's no question about it. But again, you have to look at earnings and especially the housing market, because as you know, the housing market has been in trouble because of the fact that a lot of people can't pay their mortgages, but they're being covered up because there's fewer listings in the market and the forbearance. So if they start releasing all those homes and the homes start getting foreclosed, then you're going to see the economy shake up, the financials start getting a little bit wobbly, and we have to see if this is going to start hitting the general stock market. I told you back in February and March that there's going to be a buying opportunity, and it really seems we've had a V-shaped recovery, not for the economy in terms of the average person, but for the stock market as a whole. But usually, well, they're kind of like check mark shaped recoveries, because if you look, they really look like in this check mark form, depending on how you look at it. So let's go back right here. There's a lot of people saying gold is going to go up to 3,000-4,000, gold bugs like Peter Schiff, Mike Maloney, and so forth. I do not see that. Remember, gold and silver are still well below their all-time highs from the last 10 years. Crude oil, again, the economy is still struggling. I just don't see the demand that we saw way back in January. But once again, you got to keep in mind that the US dollar has been falling quite a bit, and there's been a lack of confidence in the last month or two. You can see here the bonds has risen quite a bit. So we have to really see, hang on tight. It's going to be really concerning. There's going to be a lot of anger and frustration when a lot of people see the stock market jump up and the average person is really struggling. We have about 33% unemployment rate here in the Las Vegas Valley. So when there's going to be a lot of rage, there's going to be a lot of chaos, but it's important for you to know where to put your money at.
Black folks, we have been experiencing this all of our lives to our other brothers and sisters. We've been experiencing this all of our lives. And it amazes me sometimes when our white brothers and sisters say we never knew that existed.